So guys, welcome back. Hopefully it's a welcome back. If it's not a welcome back, hit that subscribe button and I'll welcome you back next time. And today we're continuing with the Banknote Collection. And Tamara's the one who picked Europe. I actually was chatting with her on one of the other CoinTubers live streams. I think it was Caledonian Coins. And she picked Europe. So we're doing Europe next. There's a lot of variation here. Nothing particularly special, if I'm honest. Mostly just normal circulation notes, you know, but some of it's older, some of it's newer. So let's just get into it. Now, I might have gone overboard with my prompts and writing of notes here to tell you information. So if I'm blabbering on too much about these notes, do let me know in the comments and I'll try and keep it a bit shorter. But I want to try and give you guys information about the notes, but I don't want to go too in depth into each one, you know. So let's see how we go on. We've got 23 notes to get through, so see how the pace goes. We might have to split it. We'll see. But we're going to start off with Belgium, and this one's a 20 franc. And you see the date in the centre there, so it's 1664. And there's King Baudouin. I do like the design of these. It's very simple, obviously, but on the other side, does anybody know what that is? I mean, it's fairly obviously some sort of atom structure or something. I had to look up what it actually is, though, and this is actually a building in Brussels, and it was built for the World Expo in 1958. It's actually 102 metres tall, and each of the not all of them, in fact, but I think 5 or 6 of the spheres you can actually go in. And the one right at the top's a restaurant. It's a big building in Brussels there. I didn't even know about it, to be honest. And what this is a picture of, it's a unit cell of an iron crystal magnified 165 billion times. So yeah, pretty cool. Obviously this is a time when science was making huge strides. And it still is, but not quite to the extent we were back then. But yeah, there's some interesting copyright issues around this building as well. And up until a certain point, no pictures could actually be published by anybody else apart from Belgium with the building in it. So, a bit of an interesting side story to that. But yeah, Belgium, number 1. We do have a second from Belgium. Again, King Baudouin there, or Baudouin. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Is it Baudouin? Baudouin. And Queen Fabiola. And that's 1966, that one. Good year, we love that year. And on the reverse, you see the Belgian Parliament building there in Brussels. Very cool. It's 2 Belgian notes. Next up, Spanish. This is real rough shape, this one. It's the only Spanish note I own, so I thought I'd show you guys. So yeah, real rough shape. And it's a 500 pesetas. 1979, the date just on the bottom there. And this lady here is Rosalia de Castro. She lived 1837 to 1885. And she was known as Poet Laureate of Galicia, which is an autonomous region of Spain in the northwest Iberian Peninsula. She took the bold step of writing poetry in Galician, which worked out for her in her legacy because she's a legend now. But the language at the time was thought to be for the illiterate, basically. But it won her the love and adulation of all the common folk who used to speak that language in day-to-day life. So, yeah, a legend of poetry in that language specifically. Or that dialect. Is it dialect or a language? I'm not sure. And that's just, I think that's just the generic villa on the reverse. I couldn't find any more info on that. But yeah, pretty cool. Next up, we've got a couple from Portugal. First one, again, a little bit rough. Someone dropped a chocolate bar on it. Probably a Kit Kat. And this is 100 escudos. Or is it an orange 12, boys, eh? And girls, but that's directed at couple of certain people. They'll know who they are. On this one we've got Fernando Antonio Nogueira Pessoa, or Fernando Pessoa seems to be acceptable. I had his full name written out here for some reason. He lived from 1888 to 1935 and considered one of the greatest Portuguese poets ever. And he translated his work into French and English too. He had a lot of aliases as well, interestingly. And when I say a lot, I mean like 40, 50 or more. And when he used these aliases, he used to write about unpopular or more extreme viewpoints. Yeah, obviously commemorated on the note there. And on the other side, I think that's just a rosebud. Very cool. Shame it's in poor condition. This one's in a little bit better of a state. A few folds in it, but I haven't been collecting banknotes long, so this is just what I picked up along the way, guys. So don't judge my collection too harshly. And this is Mazzino de Silveira. Lived from 1780 to 1849. And he was an important figure in the the liberal revolution, even, of 1820, which began in Porto in the north of the country and spread peacefully to the rest of the country. He was exiled, came back, exiled himself. Real interesting read if you've got time to read up on him. So much of these figures I need to learn more about, because it just opened to my mind really to European history, researching all of these notes. But we'll continue on. And this is Greek, 100 drachmae. And there we have Athena, goddess of wisdom, handicraft and war. And you can just see the University of Athens down there in the corner. And on the reverse, again, this note's not in the best condition, but that's Adamantios Korai, 1748 to 1833. A Greek scholar who laid the foundations for modern Greek literature. And there we see the monastery of Arcady, believed to have existed on the site from around, I think, the 5th century. The current church that's there was built in the 16th century. And most well known for being a refuge for 943 Greeks in the Cretan revolt against the Ottomans in 1866, where after 3 days the Cretans actually blew up barrels of gunpowder and basically killed themselves rather than surrendering to the Ottomans. Again, a very interesting read and something I need to learn more about. Then we've got another Greek one, 1000 drachma this one, and then we've got Apollo, looking very cool. Would love this note in a better grade. Again, it's not the best condition. Apollo was the god of music, poetry and the arts, or art. And on the other side there we've got the discus thrower by Myron, which is believed to have first been made in 450 BC. And nobody knows where the original is or if it still exists, but many Roman copies do exist in both bronze and marble, and that's why we know of its existence. And also there we've got the Temple of Hera and Olympia, built in 590 BC. Obviously it didn't look like that then. It was destroyed by an earthquake in the 4th century, and now stands there, the restored ruins. And Hera is the queen of Greek gods. And not moving too far away, we've got a Cypriot note now. It's from Cyprus, and it's £1. And I think this is just a generic mosaic. And you've got a map of the country there, and the coat of arms, which we've seen before on the Cypriot coins that I collect, with the date of independence just inside there, 1960. And on the reverse, that's the ruins of a Cypriot Orthodox church, allegedly. Now, most of the stuff I'm telling you here, guys, hands up, totally. Most of it's from Wikipedia or other sources, you know. I don't know all this stuff. I've looked it up and prepared it so I can learn a bit and try and share with you guys. As I said before, if I'm babbling on too much about some certain things, just do let me know so I know for next time. Next up, we've got Italy, 1000 lira. And there we've got Maria Tecla Artemisia Montessori, who was a physician and educator, most famous for the Montessori method of education, which is to do with the scientific observation of children. And on the reverse there, obviously, and education scene. See a lovely little note, that one. I do see this one now and again. You know, you do get those notes that you see everywhere, you know, and we've got another couple, I'll mention them when we get to them. When I say everywhere, I mean car boots, or every coin shop or coin store seems to have them as well. Next up, we've got a 50 foreign from Hungary. I like the serial number on this one, 0000888. Cool coin. Cool coin. I done that last time. So much coin stuff. Just that cool coin. Cool note, even. Nobody picked up on it last time, or if they did, they didn't say in the comments. But yeah, there's Francis II of Rákóczi. My pronunciation is going to get worse and worse as we move further and further east here. And he was the leader of the Hungarian uprising against the Habsburgs, 1703 to 1711. Prince of the Estates Confederated for Liberty of the Kingdom of Hungary. He ended up being unsuccessful with his conquests and went to Poland in 1711. Tried to actually come to England in 1712, but Queen Anne refused to receive him. Where he went to France and ultimately ended up in Turkey. Apparently that's a battle scene there from the revolt. Yeah, again, another interesting man that I need to learn a bit more about for sure. Next, we've got a couple of Polish notes. This is, again, I'm going to absolutely butcher this, apologies. This is Karol Swiaczewski. Yeah, just see it down there. Swiaczewski. That's probably wrong. And he was a Red Army general, actually. And at the end of World War II, he was installed as one of the leaders of the Soviet-sponsored Polish Provisional Government of National Unity. It's a mouthful. And he was actually killed not too long after that, in 1947, in an ambush by the Ukrainian insurgent army. So again, another figure that appears on these coins that I need to find more out about. And here we have the 100 zlotych from Poland again. That was a 50 last time. Lovely colour on this one. Again, though, a bit ropey, condition-wise. And here we have Ludwik Worinski. Ludwik Worinski, I think. And he was an activist and theoretician of socialism in Poland. Lived between 1856 and 1889. Next up, this is Czech Republic. And this is from 1997. On the obverse here, we've got St. Agnes of Bohemia, aka Agnes of Prague, who was a medieval princess who actually opted for a life of charity and piety rather than a life of luxury. She cared for the poor and unwell, when she could have lived a royal life. She wasn't actually canonised, which is declared a saint, till 700 years after she died. But yeah, again, another historical figure that I need to learn more about. Got a lot of reading to do. And here we've got the A for Agnes, topped by a crown. See the crown? To show her royal origin. And then inside the A, we've got actually two portraits there, and one's St. Francis of Assisi, and the other is St. Clare of Assisi. And those I had heard of before, but again, people I don't know enough about, I'd have to admit. Next up, we have a Croatian note. And this is a Croatian note. Obviously, they're in the EU, but they're not on the euro, are they? And this is a 20 kuna from 2001. And we have Josip Jelacic there. Ban of Croatia and Army General during 1848 revolutions. Known for the abolition of serfdom, which was pretty much slavery, let's be honest, being forced to work to cover your debt. I don't know the exact terminology, but yeah, it was forced labour basically to cover your debts, and he abolished that. And on the other side here, I think this is Elitz Manor, which is a Baroque castle in Vukovar, Croatia. And just at the front there is a Vukodol dove, which is believed to have been made between 2800 and 2400 BC. And it was excavated in Vukodol or Vusadol near Vukovar in 1938. So it took me a while to work out what that was, but I got there in the end. It does look like a bird though, doesn't it? I think, meant to be a dove. A very primitive one, of course. We're talking nearly 3,000 years ago. And next up, we've got the first Croatian notes issued after the collapse of Yugoslavia. And on the front of these, we've got Roger Boskovic, 1711 to 1787. And he was a physicist, astronomer, mathematician, philosopher, diplomat, poet, and much more. Croatian born, studied and lived in Italy and France. We've got the date on the top there. Obviously this is the first non-horizontal. What's the term? I've done this earlier. What's the opposite to horizontal? Oh, come on now. It'll come to me in a minute. I can't remember what it is. Too much information in the brain at the minute. But at the top there, we've got the date of independence, 8th of October 1991, from the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. And there's Zagreb Cathedral there. And next up, here's a new set of notes here. And we've got Romania, and two from Romania. First one is the one leu, and that's Nicolae Iorga, historian and politician, and co-founder of the Democratic Nationalist Party. Served as an MP and briefly Prime Minister. And that's a milkweed gentian, that little flower there apparently. On the reverse, we've got the Cathedral of Curtea de Arge, 16th century, and the Wallachia eagle, which we did hear a bit about Wallachia. If you've watched Coin Store Hall recently, we picked up a Romanian coin there with Michael the Brave on it. And obviously Wallachia and Moldavia became the two provinces or old countries, whatever they were, to combine and become Romania in 1866. So that's that. And then we got the 10 lei, and that's Nicolae Grigorescu, founder of modern Romanian art. And that lady there is one of his most famous paintings, I believe. And this is a traditional house in the Oltenia region. And this flower is an Althea. Yeah, so there's the Roman ones. Next up, Slovenia. Now this is, and this was replaced by the euro obviously. This is Johann Vykard von Valvassor, and he lived from 1641 to 1693, a historian and polymath, fellow of the Royal Society of London, best known for glory of the Duchy of Carniola, which was about older Slovenian history. And on the other side there you can see two angels, which apparently are from his book, and you see topographical maps there of Slovenia, which was one of his fields of scientific research, was his development in these sort of maps, apparently. Next up, Serbia and 10 dinara, and this is Vuk Stefanovic Karadzic, lived from 1787 to 1864, and he reformed the Serbian language and was the author of the first Serbian dictionary. He appears on their 10 dinara here. Here we go. Here's our second vertical reverse. I don't know if I got that. This is to commemorate the first Slavic Congress in Prague in 1848, which was the first time most of the Slavic population's voices were all heard in one place. You had Poles, Ukrainians, Czechoslovaks, Lithuanians, and many more. And from there, many more of these congresses were had all around Europe after that. Just took a little bit of research. Any ideas what country this one's from? 10 bonus points, if you know. It's Bulgarian. And this is 10 laver. And on the note, we have Georgy Dimitrov Mikhailov. And he was Bulgaria's first communist leader. And this note is from 1951. On the other side there, we just see typical farming picture, tractor in progress. Yeah, very cool. Nice colours on this one. Just a few more to go, guys. We've got a couple from Transnistria, which, if you haven't heard of Transnistria, it's officially as part of Moldova, but it is an unrecognised breakaway state, which is between Ukraine and Moldova. Well, it's part of Moldova, really, but on the Moldova and Ukrainian border. And in 1992, war broke out between the two. Ceasefire later in that year, and it's still ongoing now. There's Russians in Transnistria as peacekeepers. So yeah, it's kind of like a Russian-backed, unrecognised breakaway state. But yeah, apparently when you walk around, it's very, very Soviet there. You know, they've got hammers and sickles everywhere. Even the passport and the flag still carry that. It's the last place in the world to do so, I believe. But yeah, both of these are very similar. Just the denomination really that differs. 5 ruble and 10 ruble. And on the front here we've got Alexander Vasilievich Suvorov, who was a Russian military leader, Count of Rimnik, Count of the Holy Roman Empire, Prince of Italy, and the last Generalissimo of the Russian Empire. And he lived between 1729 and 1800. And on the reverse there we see the Parliament building in Transnistria. And then just to finish us off, we have a German note, but this is a hyperinflation note from after the First World War. This one's from 1922. See it there? So this is 1,000 mark, or 1,000 mark, which actually, I think before the war, the highest denomination they had was 1,000 mark, which was obviously worth a lot back then. But by the end of hyperinflation, which went on for a while, they were actually printing notes worth 100 trillion mark. Yeah, in February 1924. So that was only worth about £5 then at that time, the 100 trillion mark. But yeah, in 1923, apparently inflation just in October was 29,500%. And obviously this is 4 years after the First World War, so that percentage was only ever surpassed by Hungary in 1946, Yugoslavia during their collapse in 1994, and then the more recent one, which most people probably know about, which is the Zimbabwean hyperinflation in 2008. So yeah, very interesting note, but you do see a lot of these. All of the hyperinflation stuff is absolutely everywhere, so don't pay a lot for them. I'm not an expert, but I see these and other hyperinflation Deutschmark notes everywhere. They are everywhere. But yeah, I grabbed this one, and it's actually too big to go in any of the sleeves I've got, so it's a bit of a pain to be honest, but a nice note to have nonetheless. So there we go, we got through Europe. If you made it through all that, thumbs up. I know there was a lot of just babbling on and info there, but that's what the notes have got on them, you know. That's all I can give you guys, is who is on the notes and all that stuff. So I hope I didn't bore you too much, and maybe you found a couple that you like and might want to add to your own collection. For me, picking a favourite here, I think I might have to go with Transnistria, you know, just for the oddballness of it. And these guys actually do make plastic coins as well, currently I believe, and they're currently circulating, so something we might have to pick up in the future. But yeah, there's my European collection at the moment. Obviously nothing amazing there, but it's a start, and we will go from here. If you want to see some more banknotes, we've already done the UK, Commonwealth and Territories in the last video. I'll chuck a link to that in the description. And come back next time, we've got the Americas, and then I think we're going to probably have to squeeze Africa and Asia into one video together. So yeah, come back and see some more banknotes if you liked it. If you didn't, come back and see some coins. Cheers guys, see you later.